see. Congratulations. Getting busy this week?
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States and the Prime Minister of Japan.
大統領と日本の首相です。
Thank you very much.
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much. It's a great honor to be with the Prime Minister. We had a picture taken a little while ago, and it was so nice. I thought I'd present it to you on stage. And I wish I was as handsome as him, but I'm not.
石破さんほどハンサムだったらよかったんですけれども、私はそれほどハンサムには映ってないかもしれませんが。
Okay, thank you. Oh.
Remember that day? Thank you very much, everybody. I'm delighted to welcome Japanese Prime Minister Ishiba Shigeru to the White House for the first time. Prime Minister, it's an honor to have you with us, a great honor. Japan is a great country. Very much. Japan is strong and proud. It's a nation that is home to one of the great civilizations in the history of the world. For nearly 80 years, the American-Japanese people have enjoyed a friendship like few others, a great friendship across the vast ocean. found ourselves united by bonds of history, commerce, culture. Our meeting today, I'm confident that the cherished alliances between our two countries and others also will continue to flourish long and into the future. The military cooperation between the United States and Japan is one of our closest security partnerships, and it's one of the closest we have anywhere in the world. Our service members work together every day to defend our common interests. They've invested a lot of money. Because of my first term, we worked on that very hard with Shinzo. You know, the great Shinzo Abe. And we look forward to seeing even more so. Shinzo and I worked very, very long and hard, and those numbers are very reflective after my first term. And now they're going up very substantially based on our conversations today. In addition to being vital for our shared security, Japan is one of the top purchasers of U.S. military exports and equipment. And I'm pleased to say that this week my administration approved nearly $1 billion in foreign military sales to Tokyo, American deterrence capabilities and defense of our friend and ally, 100%. In the years to come, the Prime Minister and I will be working closely together to maintain peace and security, and I also say peace through strength, and all over the Indo-Pacific. And to that end, we also remain committed to the effort I began in my first term to ensure safety and stability on the Korean Peninsula. Prime Minister Ishiba and I spoke long and hard about a vital economic relationship between our two countries and the continuance of that relationship. The United States and Japan trade over $300 very, very substantially in the coming months, more than any other country. And they're going to have some competition. We have a lot of people coming in and investing in the United States. I think the feeling throughout the world has never been stronger about this country. As a result of our victory in 2024, the presidential election, the Japanese investment and technology giant SoftBank announced plans to invest between $100 and $200 billion. And we have many other companies investing that number, higher than that number, some a little bit less, but we have trillions of dollars of investment pouring into our country now that you didn't have just a short while ago. Today, our teams discussed how our two nations can do even more to stay on the cutting edge of artificial intelligence, along with the quantum computing, semiconductors, and other critical technologies. And they're coming out. The problem with technology, that kind, it's obsolete in about 2 days, so we have to start all over again. Doesn't last long. We agreed to cooperate even more closely to combat the Chinese economic aggression, which is quite aggressive. I'm also pleased to announce that Japan will soon begin importing historic new shipments of clean American liquefied natural gas in record numbers. It'll be record numbers. With our Secretary of the Interior, we were talking, I think Doug is here. Hello, Doug. Please stand up, Doug. Doug Burgum, everybody. We're talking about the pipeline in Alaska, which is the closest point of major oil and gas to a joint venture of some type between Japan and us, having to do with Alaska oil and gas, and that's very exciting. They're very excited about it, so are we. As we deepen our economic relationship, I made clear that the United States will be conducting trade with all countries based on the principle of fairness and reciprocity. Chronic trade deficits not only undermine our economy, they really do, and we're going to get rid of the trade. We have a trade deficit with Japan of over $100 billion, but we're going to work that out, and I think very quickly, frankly. We can do it just on oil and gas. We can work it out, so we intend to do it very quickly. We both understand that. And as America welcomes new foreign investment, we also want to ensure that companies build their products and factories here in America, not simply buy the assets that we have. And Japan is going to be opening up auto plants, new auto plants are being built currently as we speak. They've just been started. Toyota's one. Nissan's going to be doing something very exciting about U.S. Steel. They'll be looking at an investment rather than a purchase. Like the idea, U.S. Steel is a very important company to us. It was the greatest company in the world for 15 years, many years ago, 80 years ago. And we didn't want to see that leave. And it wouldn't actually leave, but the concept, psychologically not good. So they've agreed to invest heavily in U.S. Steel as opposed to own it. And that sounds very exciting. And we're going to meet with Nissan next week, the head of Nissan, very great company, and they'll work out the details. I'll help. I'll be there to mediate and arbitrate. And I had the privilege of working closely with the great Prime Minister, as you know, and you know him very well, Shinzo Abe, the longest-serving Prime Minister in Japan's history. Likewise, I expect that this Prime Minister is going to be a great one. I really believe that he's going to be a great one. I've gotten to know him for not long, but I can see what they have. He's got the qualities of greatness. He's going to do a fantastic job for Japan and for the Japanese people. And I'd like now to invite the Prime Minister to say a few words, and then we'll take some questions. Mr. Prime Minister, thank you. Thank you very much.
Mr. President Trump, I would like to sincerely thank you for inviting me to the White House today, immediately following your inauguration. I also thank you for your very warm hospitality. I have come to Washington, D.C. with the hope of having a face-to-face meeting and deepening our mutual understanding at this early date with President Trump, who is now leading the United States, the most important country for Japan's diplomacy and security, and aligning our perspectives and visions that Japan and the United States should pursue. What should we do to advance the national interests of both of our countries in synergy and to realize peace and prosperity in the Indo-Pacific? I am convinced that the answer lies in further strengthening the strong and unwavering Japan-U.S. alliance to achieve a free and open Indo-Pacific. President and I concurred to strengthen the deterrence and response capabilities of the alliance and to work closely in addressing strategic challenges that both countries are facing in this region. I conveyed to the President that Japan, as an ally of the United States, is ready to share responsibilities and to play its own role. I also reiterated Japan's unwavering commitment to fundamentally reinforcing its defense capabilities, and we confirmed the unwavering commitment by the United States to the defense of Japan. We reaffirmed that Article 5 of the Japan-U.S. Treaty of Mutual Cooperation and Security applies to the Senkaku Islands, with half of the world's population and approximately 60% of the world's GDP. The Indo-Pacific serves as the engine of growth and vitality for Japan, the United States, and the world. President and I also concurred that the United States and Japan will make further efforts in a wide range of areas, working hand in hand together to realize a free and open Indo-Pacific. In this context, we also concurred to further advance cooperation of the multi-layered networks of the like-minded countries, including the Quad, and trilateral discuss Japan-United States cooperation to bring about growth and prosperity. Economic cooperation, including on economic security, is important from the perspective of strengthening alliance cooperation. Japan is the closest economic partner of the United States and has been the world's largest investor in the United States
トランプ大
for
統領の就
5
任を受け、
consecutive
日本
years.
企業の対米
Also,
投資
with
の
the
機運は
inauguration
一層
of President
高まっ
Trump,
ており
the
ます。
momentum for Japanese companies to invest in the United
本日
States is
私
growing
未だ
willingness
か
to
つてない
cooperate
規模まで
together
引き上げたい
to elevate
そのた
Japan's
めに
investment in the
共に
United
取り組みたい
States
という
to of $1
その
trillion.
上でトランプ大統領との間で
President
両
Trump
国
and
におけ
myself,
る
the
投資、雇
Japan-US
用を拡大
partnership
していくこ
to
と、
an even
お
higher
互いに
level
産業を
through
強化する
improving
とともに
business environment
AI や
and
先
increasing
端半導
bilateral
体などの技
investment
術
and
分野における開
employment,
発で世界をリー
strengthening
ドする。
each other's industries,
また成
leading the
長する
world
インド
in
太平洋の
developing
活力を取り組む
advanced
取り組みを
technologies such as
取り
AI
込む
and
取り組みを
leading edge semiconductors
力強
and
く
strongly
さらに
energy of the
高い次
growing
元に引き上
market
げていく
in the
との認識で
Indo-Pacific
一致をい
region.
たしました。相互に利益のある形で日本への LNG 輸出増加も含めて協力していくことも確認をいたしました。
liquefied natural gas to
為
Japan
替に
in
つ
a
きまして
mutually
は、第
beneficial
一
manner,
トランプ
including
と同
foreign
様に
exchange.
専門家
As
で
in
あ
the
る
first
日米
Trump
の財務大臣
administration,
の間で
close
緊
discussions
密
will
な
continue
議論
between
を継続
Japanese
さ
and
せ
the
ていく
U.S.
こと
finance
といたしま
ministers
す。
who are experts in this field.
インド太平洋地域が
We
直
also
面する
held
課題に
candid
ついても率
discussions
直
on
に議論を
challenges
行
the
い、
Indo-Pacific region is
私から自
facing.
由で開
We
かれたインド
confirmed
太
that we
平
are
洋を
resolved
守り
not
抜
to
くた
allow
めには、
unilateral attempts to
力に
change
よ
the
る
status
力
quo
や
by
威圧
force
によ
or
る一方
coercion,
的な
and
現
to
状変
oppose such
更を許
attempts
さ
in
な
the
い。
East and South China
東シナ
Seas
海、
in
南
order
シ
to
ナ海
fully
における
defend
そ
a
のよう
free
ない
and
かなる
open
試みも
Indo-Pacific.
反対するという決意を確認をしたところでございます。同時に
We
台湾
also
海峡の平和
reiterated
と安
the
定の
importance
重要
of
性も
peace and
改め、北朝鮮につきましては
Regarding North
日米
Korea,
そして世界に
we
とっての
affirmed the need to
深刻な
address its
脅威となってお
nuclear
り
and
ます
missile program,
核・ミサイ
which
ル開
poses a
発への
serious
対処の
threat
必要性、
to Japan,
そして北朝鮮の完全な非核化に
and
向
that
け
Japan and the
日
U.S.
米
will
が
work
連
together
携して
toward
取
the
り組ん
complete
でいくことを確認
denuclearization
をいたし
of
ました。
North Korea.
拉致被害者とそのご家族がご高齢となられる中、私の強い切迫感と決意を大統領に直接お伝えし、拉致問題の即時解決に向けた大統領の力強い支持を改めていただいたところであります。トランプ大統領とは初めて対面でお会いをしたのでありますが、胸襟を開き、率直に意見を交わすことができましたこと、そして内容も充実した非常に有意義な会談になったと、このように思っておるところでございます。日米関係にとっての新たな船出となりました本日の会談の成果として、私たちは日米首脳共同声明を発出いたします。これは今後の日米協力のいわば羅針盤となる文書であります。この成果をもとに、私は敬愛してやまないトランプ大統領とともに、日米関係の新たな黄金時代を築いてまいりたいと考えております。次回はぜひ大統領閣下を日本でお迎えできますことを心待ちにいたしております。
I'm very excited about that prospect. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Any questions, please? Peter?
Peter, どうぞ。
President Trump, two on DOGE. Elon Musk said today,
イーロン・マスクが
I love Donald Trump as
ドナ
much
ル
as
ド・
he
ト
makes a
ラ
great
ン
man
プ
and love another
を
man.
愛していると、素晴らしい人間だと。
Oh, I think she'll be okay with it somehow.
So, Democratic lawmakers are really
民主主義のいやたちが、その財務省のデータにアクセスできるという
are used to disperse trillions of dollars each year to contain everyday Americans' personal
これはアメリカの国民が懸念することだと思うんですけど。
bank accounts. Why does DOGE need all of that?
Well, it doesn't, but they get it very easily. I mean, we don't have very good security in our country, and they get it very easily. And what has just taken place with respect to some of the investments that have been made on another agency that people have been talking about for years, but nobody did anything about it, it's absolutely obscene, dangerous, bad, very costly. I mean, virtually every investment made is a con job. There's nothing of value to anybody unless there's a kickback scheme going on, which is possible. And we're going to be doing more and more of that. We're going to be looking at Department of Education. We're going to be looking at even our military. We're going to be looking at tremendous amounts of money, Peter, being spent on things that bear no relationship to anything and have no value. We're talking about trillions of dollars. It will be, in the end, trillions of dollars being absolutely wasted and perhaps illegally. I would say certainly in many cases illegally, but perhaps illegally overall. And I'm very proud of the job that this group of young people, generally young people, but very smart people, they're doing. They're doing it at my insistence. It would be a lot easier not to do it, but we have to take some of these things apart to find the corruption. And we found tremendous corruption.
We saw Democratic lawmakers trying to get into the Department of Education earlier today.
Oh, I see the same ones. I see Maxine Waters, a lowlife. I see, all these people. They don't love our country. They don't love our country. We want great education. So they rank 40 countries in education. We're ranked dead last. But the good news is we're number one in one category. You know what that is? Cost per pupil. We spend more per pupil than any other country in the world. You look at Norway, Denmark, Sweden, various countries all up and down, Finland. China does very well in education. And then you look at us. We spend much more money than they do per pupil or any other way. But we spend much more money. Biden's last year, congratulations, Joe, we're ranked dead last. So what I want to see is education. Number one, I like choice. We all like choice. But beyond choice, long beyond choice, I want to see it go back to the states where great states that do so well have no debt. They're operated brilliantly. They'll be as good as Norway or Denmark or Sweden or any of the other highly ranked countries. They'll be 35 to 38 states will be right at the top. And the rest will come along. They'll have to come along competitively. And by the way, we'll be spending a lot less money. And we'll have great education.
Cutting effort. One of the Doge engineers was fired for some inappropriate posts. The vice president says, bring him back. What do you say?
Well, I don't know about the particular thing, but if the vice president said that, did you say that? I'm with the vice president. Thank you, Peter. Yeah, go ahead, please. Yes, red dress.
President, just how strong do you want Japan's military to be? And do you specifically hope that their increased military spending will deter China and North Korea? What did you talk about that today?
Well, I want our military to be the strongest. I also don't mind spending so much money on the military because we build it here. It's made in the USA, all made in the USA. We have, I rebuilt our military during my first term. Did a great job. We left some of it behind in Afghanistan, stupidly. There was no reason for that, but it was still as much as it was billions and billions of dollars, but it was a small part of it. But we're going to have the strongest military by far. We have great people. I want to congratulate Pete Hegseth for having gone through the gauntlet. He went through a lot, but he got through, and he's going to be a tremendous, I have no doubt he's going to be a tremendous leader, and other of the lead great things. But I expect the strongest military by far in the world, far stronger than China, far stronger than anybody, and that's the way it is. Thank you very much. Would you like to ask a question, please? Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you.
This is Hiramoto from Nippon Television. My question, let me ask two quick questions.
Sure.
First, this is the first meeting between Mr. President and Prime Minister Ishiba. So what kind of impression do you have on him? And number two, do you have an idea or do you have a plan to impose tariff against Japan so far? Thank you.
I think that he is going to be a great prime minister. I think he's a very strong man, very, very strong. I have great respect for him. I've known him for a long time through a reputation. Shinzo Abe thought the world of him, and I think he's going to do a fantastic job as prime minister. A very strong person. I wish he wasn't so strong. I wish he was a little bit weaker than that, but that's what I got. I have to get strong guys all the time. He's going to be a great prime minister. I also, in terms of tariffs, I mean, we're going to have tariffs, mostly reciprocal tariffs, where we go with, and I'm going to be probably meeting on that Monday or Tuesday, have an announcement, probably a news conference, but probably reciprocal tariffs where a country pays so much or charges us so much, and we do the same. So very reciprocal. because I think that's the only fair way to do it. That way nobody's hurt. They charge us, we charge them. It's the same thing. And I seem to be going in that line as opposed to a flat fee tariff. Yes, go, please. Please, go ahead. Why don't you go ahead?
読売新聞の太田です。よろしくお願いいたします。石破首相にお伺いいたします。初めての首脳会談になりましたが、トランプ大統領の印象はいかがでしたでしょうか。信頼関係を構築することができたとお考えでしょうか。また北東アジアでは対中国、対北朝鮮などさまざまな課題があります。冒頭でもご発言ましたが、トランプ大統領には日米同盟強化に向けて何を特に強く訴えてどのような理解を得られましたでしょうか。また経済分野では日本製鉄の US スチール回収計画や AI 産業などへの日本企業の投資や LNG 輸入拡大などさまざまなテーマがあると思いますが、トランプ大統領の間でどのようなやり取りがありましたでしょうか。総理から説明された日本による1兆ドルの対米投資についていかがでしたでしょうか。また関税や防衛費増額についてのやり取りも教えてください。
What about your communication on tariff front? This is the first time that I met with President Trump in person. So this was the first time meeting face to face. But for many, many years, I have watched him on television. So it was quite I was so excited to see such a celebrity on television, to see in person. On television, he is frightening, and he has a very strong personality. But when I met with him, actually, he was very sincere and very powerful, and with strong will for the United States as for the whole world. I was able to feel that. This is not the sort of polishing or trying to suck up to him. For the world peace and for our countries need to play our role and make our endeavors and responsibility. As for the increase of our defense expenditures, it is not that we are told by the United States to do so. Japan, on our own decision, on our own responsibility, we need to increase our defense expenditures. But of course, we need to communicate and consult with Japan. Now, on the tariffs, that if it is mutually beneficial, tariffs need to be set. And as for Japan, as Mr. President has introduced to us, an unprecedented investment will be made from Japan to the United States, and so many jobs will be created. And this will be to the benefit of the United States, but also to the benefit of Japan as well. Investment is mutually beneficial. So be it with US Steel, as Mr. President says, it is not acquisition, it is investment. So the Japanese third-quality products will be products which will contribute not only to the United States and Japan, but also to the whole world. It is not one-sided. It will be reciprocal. It will be mutually beneficial. And I believe we were able to share on this. And that is the biggest result that I have seen today.
Thank you very much. Go ahead, please.
I wanted to ask you about that U.S. Steel deal. So you're saying that is this a restructuring of the deal that's happening, and then
they're doing it as an investment, no longer a purchase. I didn't want it purchased, but investment I love. And they're going to do a big investment, subject to getting the deal done, and they'll be doing a big. I'm okay with that, sure.
Prime Minister, what was your argument to the President related to U.S. Steel, and one more on
US スティール
tariffs.
について
Mr. President, if I could.
なんですけれども、首相にも伺いたいですが、タリフについて、関税についてですけれども、日本の首相がその関税のことについて言ったときにどういうリアクションでしたかということですが、関税のことは話し合っておりません。アラスカパイプラインの方が非常に接してくれると思います。日本はパイプラインに興味を示してくれました。で、オイル、ガスについてはサウジアラビアよりも埋蔵量がたくさんあるということで、米国にとっての非常に大きな資産であるので、ベネズエラとかそのところに行って掘るよりも、誰もそういったことをこの4年ぐらいは分かってくれなかったということなんですけれども、日本側もなぜそれをやらなかったのかと驚いておりました。LNG を買いたいにもかかわらずバイデンが売らなかったということですね。多分環境に関係することかもしれないかもしれませんけれども、どうですか？アラスカパイプラインについて。
If you want to answer that,
何かこれについて LNG ですね、米国が LNG を売らなかったということについてはどういうふうに考えられましたか？
我々として非常に残念なことではありましたが、前政権においてこの許可というものがなされなかったということであります。トランプ大統領が就任当日だったと思いますが、このことについての明快な解決策を示していただいたということは日本国にとって非常にありがたいことでございました。我が日本国といたしまして LNG の資源というものを安定的にリーズナブルな価格で提供されるということは日本国にとっての利益でもございます。そしてアメリカの貿易赤字、
we also want to improve the trade deficit that the U.S. has towards Japan. So if we are able to buy those at a stable and reasonable price, I think it would be a wonderful situation. And for that, I am very appreciative to President Trump, and we also look forward to LNG and hope that it's a success.
I want to just say that on the ethanol, Iowa is going to be very happy. All of the Nebraska, all of our farm states are going to be very happy. They want ethanol, and we'll be able to provide it. So our farmers, who I like and they like me, I think they're going to be very, very happy. We've opened the sale of LNG immediately. Actually, we did it a few days ago, and China, right now, not only China, everybody wants to buy it. We have more than anybody, and they're all buying it. But Japan in particular, we're very happy that they're going to start immediately. And we can supply it to the world, but we're supplying it to Japan, and they can always be right up in the front of the line. Yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
Mr. Prime Minister, I have a question for you as well, but Mr. President, I'll start with you. Well, quickly to follow up on what Peter was asking, have you directed Elon Musk to review Pentagon spending, given it's the biggest discretionary spending in the federal budget?
Education, just about everything. We're going to go through everything, just as it was so bad with what we just went through, this horrible situation we just went through. I guess 97% of the people have been dismissed. It was very, very unfortunate. You're not going to find anything like that, but you're going to find a lot. And I've instructed him to go check out education, to check out the Pentagon, which is the military. And, you know, sadly, you'll find some things that are pretty bad, but I don't think proportionally you're going to see anything like we just saw.
FBI has turned over a list to the Justice Department of the FBI agents who worked on the January 6 rioters cases. Are you planning to fire the FBI agents who worked on those investigations?
No, but I'll fire some of them because some of them were corrupt. I got to know a lot about that business, that world. I got to know a lot about that world, and we had some corrupt agents, and those people are gone, or they will be gone. And it'll be done quickly and very surgically. Did you have a question for the Prime Minister?
首相に何かご質問があったんではないですか？もっと大きな声でどうぞ。
I don't know.
1月6日の人たちに関しては、腐敗している人たちもいるということですね。評判を FBI の評判を上げたいと思います。キャッシュ・パテルは非常にいい仕事をしております。FBI は評判が悪かった。この4年間全然ダメだった。それを評判を盛り返したいというふうに思っております。トランプ大統領と一番初めて会見をされたということなんですけれども、
President Trump certainly did the last time he was in office. Would you like to see him resume that contact and also that in-person meeting that he had with the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un?
それは合衆国大統領が
That is something that the United States needs to determine on its own, and it's not something that we should request. Having said that, but
ベトナムにおいて、あるいはシンガポールにおいて、
in Vietnam or
合衆国大
Singapore,
統領がトランプ
the
大統
President of the
領が
United States,
キム・ジョンウン委員長と会談をされたということで、
President Trump
事態はかなり
was
動い
able
た
to
と思っ
meet
て
with
お
Kim
ります。
Jong-un. I think that's
その
a
進
very
展はござい
positive
ませんけれど
development.
も、またトランプ大統領が就任されたことによって、
Now that President
この
Trump is
北
in
朝
power
鮮の
again,
問題がさらに解決に向かう、
if we are
その
able
ためには
to move towards
非核化と
resolving
いうこと
issues
が
with
大前提であり
the
ます。
North
我が
Korea,
日
I
本
think
国
it
に
would
とって
be
は拉致
great.
問題
And
の
of
解
course,
決ということ
for
でございま
us,
す。
that includes not only denuclearization, but also resolving the abductee
そ
issue.
してまた拉致問題、被害者もそうですが、ましてや
The,
家族はもっ
not
と高
only
齢
the
化をしておるのであ
victims
り
of the
まして、
abductees,
時間
but
的にあま
also
り
their
余裕がござい
families
ません。
too are aging, and so
合衆国
our
大
time
統
is
領の
limited.
トランプ大統領閣下のさらなるお力
If
と
the
いうも
President
の
of
を
the United
私
States,
ど
if
もとし
President
ては
Trump is able
この問題が
to
日本の問
resolve
題であ
this
るという
issue,
ことをよく認識
It's actually a good question, and we will have relations with North Korea and with Kim Jong-un. I got along with him very well, as you know. I think I stopped the war. I think if I wouldn't have won that particular election, he would have ended up in a very bad situation. But I did, and we had a good relationship, and I think it's a very big asset for everybody that I do get along with him. I get along with him, he gets along with me, and that's a good thing, not a bad thing. And I can tell you that Japan likes the idea because their relationship is not very good with him. And if I can have a relationship with not only him but other people throughout the world where there seem to be difficulties, I think it's a tremendous asset for the world, not just the United States. Go ahead.
Prime Minister as well. Mr. President, I wonder what you make of the criticism
大統領なんですけれども、民主党の方がイーロン・マスクが非合法的なやり方でカットをしているということで、イーロン・マスクがタッチできないところはありますか？それはまだ話し合っていませんけれども、いろんなところでいい人たちを集めて能力を発揮してくださっています。
They're either crooked or don't know what they're doing. We have very smart people going in, so I've instructed him go into education, go into military, go into other things as we go along. And they're finding massive amounts of fraud, abuse, waste, all of these things. So, but I will pick out a target and I say go in. There could be areas that we won't, but I as an open government, I guess you could say maybe some high intelligence or something. Generally speaking, I'll just say, no, but he will be looking at education pretty quickly, and he will be looking at military too.
Federal spending is Social Security.
Looked at by us, Social Security will not be touched. It'll only be strengthened. We have illegal immigrants on Social Security, and we're going to find out who they are and take them out. We have illegal immigrants in other Medicare. We've found a lot of bad people, a lot of people that shouldn't be on, that were put on through California. A lot of them come out of California. We're not going to stand for that. So we're going to strengthen our Social Security, etc. We're not going to touch it other than to make it stronger. But we have people that shouldn't be on, and those people we have to weed out. Most of them, or many of them so far, have been illegal immigrants. They shouldn't even be in the country. Do you have a question for the Prime Minister?
Mr. Prime Minister, the President's affinity for tariffs is well known. If the U.S. places tariffs on Japanese imports, would Japan retaliate?
日本の輸入品に関税をかけたらば、日本は報復しますか？
仮定のご質問にはお答えをいたしかねますというのが日本の大体定番の国会答弁でございます。
That's the official answer that we have.
That's a very good answer. Very good answer. Wow. That's very good. He knows what he's doing. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
自分のやるべき職業をよく知ってる。
Thank you.